當我哋識得畫一個 covalent molecule 嘅 electron diagram 之後咧，大家就可以從 molecule 嘅 electron diagram 去數出有幾多對 electron pairs， 包括 bond pair electrons 同埋 lone pair electrons 係圍住個 central atom 㗎。從而咧，我哋就可以估計到咧一個 molecule 嘅形狀啦。嗱，要 predict 一個 molecule 嘅 shape 咧，我哋可以利用 valence shell electron pair repulsion theory， 簡稱叫 VSEPR theory。佢提出咧 electron pairs 之間嗱，因為 electron 都係帶 negative charge 噶嘛，係會有 repulsion 噶噃。有 repulsion 就唔 stable 啦，所以咧就要減低 repulsion 嘅影響啦。但係要 minimize 個 repulsion，就要令到圍住 central atom 嘅 electron pair 咧隔得有咁遠得咁遠啦。嗱，我講緊嘅遠唔係淨係講緊距離上嘅遠，而響角度上 angular separation 咧都要隔得有咁遠得咁遠。嗱，我哋咧就會用幾個嘅 example 咧去解釋唔同嘅 shape of the molecule 啦。嗱，如果個 central atom 咧只係得兩對 electron pair 圍住佢哋嘅啫，咁呢兩對 electron pairs 佢哋嘅最大嘅 angular separation 咧就會係180度啦。嗱，就好似 beryllium chloride 咁。嗱，個 central atom beryllium 咧，佢只有兩對嘅 bond pair electrons 圍住佢嘅啫。兩個 electrons pair 有180度嘅 angular separation 咧，就會形成一個 linear shape 啦。嗱，如果個 central atom 咧，佢有三對嘅 electrons pair 圍住佢，嗱咁佢哋最大嘅 angular separation 咧，就會係120度啦。例如 boron trifluoride 咁啊 ，central atom boron 咧，佢有三對 electron pairs 圍住佢，而形成一個我哋叫做 trigonal planar 嘅 structure。嗱，如果 central atom 佢有四對 electron pair 圍住佢嘅話咧，嗱咁佢哋最大嘅 angular separation 咧就會係109度半，而形成一個叫做 tetrahedron 嘅形狀。同 linear 同 trigonal planar 唔同啊 ，tetrahedron 咧佢係一個立體嘅形狀嚟㗎。所以咧 electron pairs 之間嘅最大嘅 angular separation 咧就唔係一個平面嘅360度除4等於90度，而係109度半㗎。例如 methane CH4， 嗱個 central atom carbon 咧，佢 form 咗4個 covalent bond with 4個嘅 hydrogen atoms， 嗱咁所以咧佢有4對嘅 electron pair 圍住佢啦，就形成一個 tetrahedral shape。tetra 即係4 ，hedral 即係面 faces。tetrahedral 嘅意思即係話有4塊面嘅立體形狀啦。因為 tetrahedron 係一個立體嘅形狀，如果要向張平面嘅紙去表達立體嘅形狀嘅話咧，嗱我哋就要用一啲特別嘅 notation 去表達。嗱，一條線就代表響平面嘅 bonding， 實心嘅三角形就代表突出紙張嘅 bonding， 而虛線嘅三角形咧就代表凹入去平面嘅 bonding 啦。lone pair electrons 就會係咁畫噶。嗱，如果要畫 methane CH4， 最簡單嘅畫法就係先將兩個 bond 畫響同一個平面，然之後一個 bond 突出嚟，一個 bond 凹入去。嗱，大家停一停，自己試下畫一畫啦。嗱，但係如果個 molecule 嘅 central atom 圍住佢嗰啲 electron pairs 唔係全部都係 bond pair electrons， 而有 lone pair 咧，嗱咁個 shape of the molecule 就會改變咗噶啦。嗱，因為 molecule 嘅 shape 咧，我哋只係會 consider 個 bond pair electrons， 即係嗰個 covalent bond 嘅啫。嗱，例如好似 ammonia。 NH3 咁啦。嗱，你就咁睇個 formula，你可能會錯誤地認為佢嘅形狀就好似 boron trifluoride 一樣係一個 trigonal planar。嗱，但係如果大家睇清楚個 electron diagram 咧，嗱，你會發現原來圍住個 central atom nitrogen 咧係有4對嘅 electron pairs 㗎，包括有3個 bond pair electrons 同埋1對 lone pair electron。而大家係唔可以忽略 lone pair electron 嘅存在㗎。嗱，因為有4對嘅 electron pair around the central atom nitrogen， 所以咧佢個 basic shape 就應該係 tetrahedral 啦。嗱，但係因為有一對 electron pair 係 lone pair electron， 所以佢就少咗一個 bond， 而個形狀咧就會由 tetrahedral 變做 trigonal pyramidal 啦。而 ammonia 嘅 three-dimensional structure 咧，我哋就可以咁樣畫㗎。通常 lone pair 咧，我哋會擺響平面㗎，然之後另一個 bond 都係響平面，一個 bond 突出嚟，一個 bond 凹入去，就係咁樣畫啦。但係因為 lone pair electrons 咧，佢淨係受到一個 atom 所影響，所以一般嚟講咧 lone pair electrons 咧係會比較 diffuse 啲，係比較壓榨啲㗎。咁所以咧 lone pair electron 同 bond pair electron 之間嘅 repulsion 咧就會比 bond pair electron 同 bond pair electrons 之間嘅 repulsion 咧係大㗎。因為 lone pair 嘅存在咧係會令到 ammonia molecule 裏邊嘅 NH bond 嘅 bond angle 咧係會比響 methane molecule 嘅 tetrahedral 嘅109度半咧係細㗎，大概咧係等於107度。但係 exactly 個角度係幾多咧？大家唔需要知㗎，大家淨係知道佢個 bond angle 係會比methane molecule 嘅 bond angle 係細，咁就可以㗎啦。另外一個 example 就係 water molecule 啦。嗱 water molecule 嘅 structure 咧，個 central atom oxygen 咧，嗱今次咧佢同樣地都有4對 electrons pair 圍住佢。嗱，但係同 ammonia 唔同，佢有2對 bond pair electrons 係同2個 hydrogen atom form 咗 covalent bond， 但係咧佢有2對 lone pairs。嗱，因為咧同樣地都有4對 electrons pair around 個 central atom oxygen， 所以咧佢嘅 basic shape 咧都係 tetrahedral。但係因為佢有2對係 lone pair electrons， 唔係 covalent bond 嚟嘅，咁所以咧佢就會少咗2個 covalent bond， 而個形狀咧就會變成 V-shaped 啦。嗱，而 water molecule 嘅 three-dimensional structure 咧，因為咧嗰2對 lone pair electrons 咧，我哋慣咗會擺喺平面㗎，咁所以剩翻嗰2個 OH bond。嗱，雖然佢係同一個平面度，但係咧我哋都會畫成一個突出嚟，一個咧就會凹入去噶。之前講過啊 ，lone pair 同一個平面度，但係咧我哋都會畫成一個突出嚟，一個咧就會凹入去噶。之前講過啊 ，lone pair electrons 一般嚟講咧係比較 diffuse 啲噶，所以有2對 lone pair electrons 嘅 water molecule 咧。嗰個 HOH bond 咧係會比響 tetrahedral 嘅109度半，又或者比響 ammonia 嘅107度咧係會更加細㗎，大概咧係104度半。又係嗰句啦， 個 bond angle 係幾多呢？大家唔需要背㗎，大家只係知道呢，有 lone pair electrons 嘅 molecule，佢個 bond angle 呢係會比冇 lone pair electrons 嘅 angle 呢係會更加細㗎。所以如果要 predict 個 shape of the molecule 咧，嗱大家記住，一定要畫清楚個 electron diagram， 然之後咧數清楚有幾多對 electron pair， 包括 lone pair electrons 圍住個 central atom， 先至咧好估究竟嗰個 molecule 嘅形狀係啲乜嘢啊！嗱，如果你唔咁樣做嘅話咧，好容易咧你會唔記得咗有 lone pair electrons 咧，你咧就會咧估錯咗個 shape 㗎啦。嗱，所以咧呢個咧一定唔可以懶㗎。另外一個 example 咧就係 force phosphorus pentachloride 啦。嗱 phosphorus pentachloride 嘅 central atom phosphorus 咧，嗱圍住佢嘅咧係有5對嘅 electron pair 㗎。嗱個形狀咧就會叫做 trigonal bipyramidal 啦。嗱 trigonal bipyramidal 同其他形狀唔同啊，原來佢咧係有兩種唔同嘅 bonding 㗎噃。一種 bonding 咧就係有90度嘅 angular separation， 我哋咧就叫做 axial bonding。一種咧係有120度嘅 angular separation， 嗱我哋叫做 equatorial bondings。不過咧，大家係唔需要識得點樣解點解 trigonal bipyramidal 咧係有兩種唔同嘅 bondings 㗎，因為咧佢係牽涉到一個概念叫做 hybridization of atomic orbital 㗎。所以咧，大家只係記住咧佢有兩種唔同嘅 bonding 咧，咁就可以㗎啦。嗱，要畫一個 trigonal bipyramidal 嘅 three-dimensional structure 咧，我哋會將兩個嘅 axial bonding 同一個 equatorial bonding 咧畫喺個平面度，形成好似一個 T 字咁。而其餘嗰兩個 equatorial bonding 咧就會畫成一個突出嚟，一個凹入去啦。最後一個 example 咧就係 sulfur hexafluoride 啦。嗱 ，sulfur hexafluoride 嘅 central atom sulfur， 因為佢係同6個嘅 fluorine atom form 咗6個 covalent bonds， 所以咧就有6個 electron pairs 圍住 sulfur 啦，形成一個立體嘅形狀，叫做 octahedral shape。octa 即係8 ，octahedral 即係有8塊面嘅形狀，上邊4塊，下低4塊。而6個嘅 bond pair electrons 最大嘅 angular separation 咧就係90度，而佢嘅 three-dimensional structure 咧就係咁樣畫啦。2個嘅 SO bonding 就會畫向平面，然之後4個 equatorial bonding 咧2個就會畫突出嚟，2個咧就會凹入去嘅。最後啦，如果要 predict 一個有就係咁樣畫啦，2個嘅 SO bonding 就會畫向平面。然之後4個 equatorial bonding 咧，2個就會畫突出嚟，2個咧。
What do we call the structure? Are you sure? Octahedral 即係白面體呢度，呢個先係 octahedral。Yes, okay. So SF6 is octahedral. Write it down. How about PCl5? So you can have a look about the model below. PCl5 it looks like this. Okay, 呢個圖就好睇啲啦。我哋一睇呢個。So octahedral, you can see clearly there are 8 same sizes triangular surfaces， 8面，上面4面，下面4面。咁呢度6面咁點啊？你冇叫 hexahedral 啦，冇呢樣嘢。有冇名嘅 ？So it's combining by 2 triangular pyramid， 2個三角錐體。So we call it triangular by pyramidal shape. Okay, by pyramidal. So in this case, there's no lone pair. So that's why the whole structure is visible. In other words, the shape is equivalent to the structure, same. By means 2， 咁佢係2個三角錐體組成，上面一個三角錐體，下面一個。This is PCl5. So how about BF3? What do we call for that structure? Try 如果咧三角嘅 triangle 咁啊唔得，三角平面點講啊？試下 ，Catherine, can you try? What should I call for that structure? 三角形，三角形，平面喎，平面。Okay, so we go trigonal planar. Trigonal, so trigonal instead of triangular, we call it trigonal. 三邊嘅三角嘅 planar. Okay, so the shape is the same. Trigonal planar. Now the word planar is single N instead of double N. So how do we draw trigonal planar PF3? 識唔識畫？使唔使有嘢懟出嚟，有嘢懟入去？使唔使我哋望到少少圖？使唔使？唔使，三個喺平面上面。And just draw it like this. Okay, so let's summarize about the shape of PM3 to SF6. First one, PM3. How many lone pair in that structure? Any lone pair? No. So 0 lone pair. One pair, right? 3. So total number of electron pair will be 3. So if electron pair is 3, then it will be trigonal planar. 記咗佢咯，得唔得？ How about PCl5? 5個全部都係 bond pair。How about SF6? 6個啦，全部都係 bond pair。So this is about the the another three models you need to learn。好，我哋而家試下嚟咯，睇下邊度得下。For consider PF3, can you give me another molecule which also show the same structure as PF3? No. NH3 is not planar. No. 點解唔可以用 N 啊 ？N 死緊啦已經。N 因為有 Yes, yes, a lone pair. So if I tell you that you should keep as using B, can you give me some example? 一定要用 B 噶啦。BCl3, correct？係㗎。仲有冇啊？再作啊？仲有冇？都係同一個形狀，你要用晒我三粒嘅 BCl3 yes。仲有冇 ？OK， 嚇 ？BI3, BR3, yes, exactly. 仲有冇啊？Except halogen, can you give me one more atom also share one electron with each other? H, so it will be correct, BH3, like that. Okay, I give you one more. That will be quite surprising. Boron comes from group 3. Give me another element also come from group 3. Group 3, aluminium. Aluminium 唔係隻隻都 covalent 嘅，有一隻係，自己 mark 翻低 aluminium chloride yes， 都係呢個形狀。Aluminium chloride is also covalent. Even though most of the time it is ionic compound, it can also form covalent substance. OK， 咁點解會係咁咧？我哋遲啲你就會知㗎啦。OK， 好，再嚟咯，冇㗎啦，其實作唔出㗎啦。Only this, only the molecule which can show free bond pair, only those example， 你作唔到㗎啦，冇得再作啊。好，再幫我作多少少 PCl5。Can you give other examples which also show the same structure？ 可唔可以用 N 咧？今次可唔可以用 N 代替咧 ？If N and P both coming from group 5, do you think we have NCl5? Yes or no? 呢個可唔可以？件事可唔可以 NCl5 有冇啲咁嘅嘢 ？If N and P both come from group 5， 同埋我哋教過 N 同 P 有咩分別？哦，佢個 layer。係啦，最多8個㗎咋。So this one maximum is 8， 所以冇啊，你咁樣10個㗎啦。So that's why you can only have P， 咁你做唔到第二個 P 啦，繼續落去咩啊？啱啦，冇錯啦，你得咗啦已經 PF5 啦，仲有冇？阿 Julia， you try another one。PF5， 我試同我仔睇就話 PF5， 你咧？你做 P 乜嘢啊 ？I mean， yes, PBr5 because all coming from group 7 and share one electrons with P. Yes, okay, so let me write down. It can be P. 仲有冇啲簡單啲㗎？入 pH5 咯，呢個常問㗎，知唔知啊？可以嘅 ，BCl5 啦，本身已經有啦。好，再嚟 SF6 咧，俾第二個我啊。S 咩話 ？S 咩啊？係啊 SCl6 etc. SH6 etc. Understand? So I can replace halogen with hydrogen. They still share the same number of electrons and cause the same shape. 好，而家你有個 summary 俾你嘅。OK， 好，就係 Do you have that summary? Yes. Okay. So now we can. Do you have? Yes, you have that one. Take it out. OK。咁呢個 summary 會做乜嘢咧？我哋先睇一睇啲 element 嘅 atom 嘅數目先。Okay. Sorry, I opened the stop share. So wait. So can you write down the number of electrons in the outer motion first yourself in the first box? And I will tell you how to consider the whole molecules. 我自己做第一格先 ，write it yourself. Oh no, how come you are so slow? Huh? Oh, really? Very energetic. 好，咁你哋自己就寫低先。Page 1, question 1, read yourself. Think about the number of electrons. 但你要記咗呢幾個 common 嘅例子啊，我唔記得，記咗佢先。昨天没睡觉吗？有啊？没有还是有？那为什么会这样？什么？清单真的是很好看，肯定是很好看。Okay, so let me continue sharing. Okay, so tell me one by one. What's the number of electrons in the outermost shell? Now remember when we consider shape, only outermost shell electrons will affect. 咁我哋睇睇第一個先 ，BE 呢幾多？2，B 咧3，carbon 咧4，OK。跟住仲有我亂咗啊，因為呢個係類似測試嘅。第5係邊個啊？第5係邊個？第5個 L 即係 group 5嘅 N 啊，咁快到 P。第6係邊個啊？Yeah, period 2, group 6. Oh, yes. 有冇第7啊？呢度 ？Yes, F. Okay. And then group 0 you don't need to consider because they can't form compounds. Okay, so group 0 normally cannot. 但呢度有個例外。OK， 咁再嚟咯。Metal 都唔諗嘅 because metal will not form covalent substance normally. So we don't consider metals. All non-metals here. 咁一路砌就下一行就 Si 嘅 silicon 都可以嘅，加埋佢 silicon。What's the number? Number of electrons in the outermost shell 4個啱，非常之好。咁5個嘅係邊個啊？等等先 ，Si 係第4，第5係邊個？E，OK， 第6咧 ？S 咯，第7咧 ？Yes，OK。And then even it is out of the first 20 elements, it still be 7. We know it's halogen. Bromine is also 7. OK， 好，咁我哋再睇埋嗰個 Xc， can you find it in your thing? OK, that means 8. OK, 8 electron in the outermost shell. 好，我哋再繼續嚟咯。So if we now you better memorize the whole table because each time I don't expect you to go back to the periodic table. Okay, and then think about the number of electrons being shared. 咁我哋而家好快嚟啦，其實你呢一刻 OK 就 OK 噶啦。BF3 now if we don't consider the electron diagram， 你個腦入邊可唔可以好快話俾我知個 3D structure？ No, not V shape。好，我哋嚟多次啊。BE, how many electrons in the outermost shell? 2. How about fluorine? 7. 好，咁即係點解 ？But I have 2 fluorine. In other words, that I will share with 2 fluorine. 咁每個 fluorine 俾幾多粒我啊？每個 fluorine 爭幾多粒？爭一粒。OK， 寫低先。It means that when we consider the shapes of molecule, remember you need to add 1。要加一粒翻嚟，得唔得？你寫低先，要加一粒。OK， so you share 1 with beryllium。咁呢個就 non-octane 噶啦。好，我哋要加一粒喎。好，嚟咯 ，BE 嚟咯 BE。So BE has 2 electrons in the outermost shell as the central atom。咁我哋 BE 就固定咗啦。而個 F 咧，每個人爭幾多粒啊？爭一粒，每個人爭一，每一個差一個，2個就有 total 有2個了。然後它 share。You can consider if I have 2 fluorine and then there are 2 fluorine together, so they will share these 2, okay, share 2 with beryllium. Now beryllium 有2個，而 fluorine 咧會一人攞1個出嚟， 咁即係 total 兩個 share with beryllium。嗱，等陣我畫咗先。I also give you the electron diagram that will be easier to understand. In other words, it will be looking like this. Now that will be electron diagram, but you can't get the full mark. You know that there are some electron which does not affect the shape. 我仲爭啲乜嘢啊？頭先講咗 beryllium 係特別嘅 ，OK？ 我仲爭啲乜嘢啊 ？This is not the full electron diagram. What's missing? Yeah, how many lone pair in total? Yes, 3. But you don't need to show it. Now, this is just a draft. Understand? This is a draft to be considered. But if it is a real electron diagram, then of course you have to show it. Do you understand? I just want to show you the draft so you can decide the shape easily. 咁而家我唔畫啦嚇，費事要畫要亂啊，唔畫，明唔明我意思？正常要畫嘅，呀，首先啊。Okay, then you think about the numbers. Okay, then turn it off. What's the shape? 一條橫線叫咩啊？你冇人拉咁樣喎。What do we adjective? Linear. Yes, linear. Okay, write down. 好，再嚟咯。CH4. So carbon there are 4 electrons in the outermost shell. Hydrogen there's only 1. 咁佢呢一粒咧就需要加一粒，啱啱好啦，加夠4粒。So 4 electrons coming from hydrogen share with 1 carbon， 啱啱好個比例，好冇多啦嚇，冇剩。What do I mean? It means that there will be no lone pair remains. I need 4 in total, and it comes from 4 hydrogen， 啱啱好1:4，完晒，啱啱好咯喎。好，咁個 shape 係乜嘢啊？而家個 shape 4個啱啱好係咩 ？If there are 4 electron pairs，
3個追求。
What do we call for the structure and shape? Tetrahedral. Okay, so show it. It should be looking like this. Write it down. Sorry. Okay, tetrahedral. Write it down. Tetrahedral. Okay, continue. NF3. 小心答啊 NF3. Now let me also show the electron diagram. 我唔敢做得咁快啊。So it will be 4H and then share 4 with each other. 嗱，我再講一次啊 I won't show the electron in the outermost shell in fluorine in the surrounding atom. OK， 唔影響我思考嘅。我乜只有寫個 draft 啊？你點解自己寫翻低係 draft？ This is where is important because it's not full electron diagram. Oh, NF3, what's the shape and structure? 我先諗咗結構先 ，structure 先。一邊有冇諗法 ？structure before removal of lone pair, what's the structure? And there are 5 electrons. F 咧，佢7個，咁即係每個人加幾多個？需要加一個，咁 total 有3個。咁我仲有冇剩 ？Do I have lone pairs? Yes. How many lone pairs? 1. Okay, so it's similar to which molecule? So you can tell your notes similar to which one? NCl3. But in our notes we use NH3. 咁咧其實你可以代替嘅 H 啦。嗱，同學仔聽住 ，H and halogen are replaceable because both of them share 1 electron with each other。咁我就畫嘅時候點畫啊 ？NF3 we know that is similar to NH3. Both share 1 electron with each other。咁我哋就咁畫啦。So halogen and hydrogens are replaceable。跟唔跟到朱哥嚟講嘅嘢 ？What do we call for that structure? What's that structure? Same as the previous one. So what do we call for that structure? 結構叫咩名啊？咁即係咩名？如果上面叫 tetrahedral， 好咁啊，大家分唔清兩個字啊。When I talk about structure, it will be tetrahedral the same. But when I say the shape means that you don't need to consider the lone pair. 咁我哋叫咩咧？叫 trigonal 咩啊？Yeah, trigonal pyramidal. Right now. But for the structure, it still be tetrahedral. Okay? Sorry. And then the free electron diagrams，我就都慳翻啲時間啦，都係簡潔版啦。你跟住我得啦。sorry F， 點解你哋唔提？點解你唔提我？點解？點解唔提我？你又照抄？好 H2S， 你覺得同邊個好似咧 ？H2S 點解你會諗同水差唔多？點解 S 可以同 O 代替咧？都係獨立，非常好。So once the outermost shell electrons the same, they share the same number of electrons. So that's why this is similar to H2O. 咁 H2O 個樣我係要背咗佢㗎。O lone pair, sorry, not O. It becomes S, okay? And this is H, okay, and this is also H. Okay? 咁呢個叫咩 structure 啊，同學 ？Structure. 你嗰個 shape 可以用乜 structure? Yes, still be tetrahedral. 睇下 tetrahedral structure. But we call it the V shape, correct? V shape or V shape 你中意 ED 又得，冇 ED 又得，冇所謂。And then for the electron diagram, let me show you. It's very big. There are two long pairs. Okay? 好 ，PCl5 大家係咪跟到係個形狀係乜嘢？PCl5 跟到係咪 ？Trigonal pyramidal. Okay, so it will be PCl3 啦 ，and then two more, one to the back, one to the front. So PCl5. Oh, sorry, 抄咗未？ So three on the same plane. What do we call for that structure? What do we call for that structure? Huh? Pyramidal. 三角，就是两个三角锥体的意思。OK， 两个 pyramidal. So that's why we call it trigonal pyramidal. Okay, so it's both structure and shape. 咁都係一樣嘅，因為 because this time there's no lone pair. All structures are widthable, so structure and shape the same. 好，跟唔跟到去到呢度？跟到嘅應該。So shape actually is not that difficult. Even for SCl6 同邊個好似啊 ？SCl6 同邊個 ？S 乜嘢？同邊個好似？ S 同邊個似啊？同學 ？S 同 O， 但係 O 你唔能夠擁有負級噶嘛 ？It can be OCl6 because O maximum 8 electrons, so it should be only S. S 就 S 嘅。如果佢有咁多個 surrounding atoms 嘅話，咁我哋 note 嗰個叫咩名 ？S 乜嘢啊 ？SF6. F and chlorine both halogen. Okay, very soon I will give you the break. Okay, write it down. So they will be pointed to the back. Okay, pointed to the back and to the front. Okay, Cl. So what do we call for that shape? What do we call for this shape? No, octahedral. Okay, so it's both octahedral shape and octahedral structure. 一樣嘅，咁單係句我同佢話啦，好，再嚟啲 CO2。Any idea about CO2？ 有冇人知啊 ？CO2 咩 shape？ Now, if someone consider V shape, then you have to ask yourself, are there any lone pair? So V results if there's something here, but it's invisible, then it may be V. So some areas occupied by lone pair, but this time, are there any lone pairs? 打橫打直都得。But what's the number of electrons shared between 兩個 share 兩個 Okay. So again, I don't show the outermost shell electron. 你自己冇 loss 咗 O 嗰個。But then what should be the shape of CO2? Anyone can guess? You're right. It's linear. 唔係四個咩？老師四對喎。Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Why 4 bond pair but not tetrahedral? Because this time there are 2 double bond instead of 4 single bond. Single bond will be separate and then become tetrahedral. But if it's double bond, 即 double bond 呢度係擺固定㗎嘛，then they separate, it will be linear, just like BeF2, BeCl2. So CO2 is the same. 好，咁我而家問你啊，再挑戰難少少啦，有啲難。So I just show the double bond here. It's linear. Okay. So this is about the structure. And some of the shape will be even more complicated. 我試一試睇你哋有冇呢個留意先。好 ，SO2. So this is a challenging question. What do you think about SO2? What should be the shape? 冇 SO2. SCl2. Us. No. Totally different. Okay, so now 睇下你哋有冇能力跳得咁快啊 ？SCl2. Who can very quickly tell me the shape and structure? So this time you need to tell me the structure and shape. 好，繼續。So 2 lone pair, 2 bond pair. 唔再諗，有冇邊個 molecule 一樣㗎？都係 2 lone pair, 2 bond pair. H2O. So structure. 點解你會咁快諗到 H2O 嘅？CO 同 O? No. S and O. Why they are comparable? Because both come from group 6. And then H2, even they are not coming from same group, as I mentioned, halogen and hydrogen both share 1 electron. 當我哋用 share 嘅數目 surrounding 嗰啲唔睇啊，你剩翻6粒冇巴閉咩？我唔睇喎。Understand my meaning? So it will be H2O. 再嚟，我哋再拆第二個。So let's say another one. 頭先我問咗嘅 SO2, that will be challenging. SO2 should be the linear. 點解唔可以係 CO2 啊？係咯，啱啊！你首先問自己 group which group? Group 6 to this group 4. 咁即係多數啲乜嘢啊？ What should be remains on S? Now you know that when we compare it with CO2, definitely not comparable with each other. 唔可以相等啊！ So let me stop sharing. Let's see how. 啊？什麼 ？Okay, can you tell me? So in this case, why they are not comparable? This is group 6㗎嘛？好 ，let me write down. This is group 6. This is group 4. 咁有冇直嘢？ Now, if carbon dioxide, we know that it's linear, so you're looking like this. How about for SO2? Sorry, SO2 爭乜嘢？仲剩乜嘢？多咗啲乜嘢啊 ？Lone pair. So in other words, SO2, let me show you, and you guess. Now, this is advanced question. Even DSE haven't been asked. 好估。So students already discovered for S, there will be 1 lone pair remains because before it's 4 from carbon dioxide, now it's 6 from SO2. 好估下佢係咩 shape？ 嚟難㗎嚇。嗱，再講一次 double bond 黐埋㗎，你冇幫我分開下 ，they are always together. So if they repel with each other, what should be the shape? and structure. 估下 just guess. You say V shape. What's the structure then? Trigonal 咩啊 ？Planar. Trigonal planar. That's correct. So actually, it's quite difficult to know, but I know, as I mentioned, double bond 大家有啲人諗到啊 double bond always consider like single bond，因為一齊一條嘢嚟嘅。And the lone pair also occupy some spaces. So this is like BN3, 3 bond pairs. 你當3 pair 睇得㗎啦。So it's like BN3, and we just consider this part. So that's why this is V shape, but trigonal planar structure. 咁個結構咧係 trigonal planar, but the shape is V shape. Okay, now, no worry. I will summarize all what I'm talking about in our notes. But firstly, there will be a break. Okay, so you can take a break. Okay, yeah. Okay, so tell your notes. Continue. Let's continue. 23. Yeah. Okay. Stop. Okay, so our notes. So then write down all the fill in all the blanks. So you have to memorize the 6 molecules, okay, with 3 of them all tetrahedral, and also 3 of them are special non-octet structure. 咁呢4個咧，大家要記住先，記有呢3個先 ，sorry 呢3個記咗佢先。So all tetrahedral, but because of the presence of lone pair, then the shape will not be the same as tetrahedral structure. So this is what you need to memorize. And now let's have a look about the checkpoint. First one, consider silicon tetrachloride. What's the shape? Silicon tetrachloride. Huh? You feel hot again? Hello, Surya, Sienna. Silicon tetrafluoride. Give me the little band. So let me check. All turn to page 6 of your notes. Firstly, you ask yourself the electron in the outermost shell of silicon. How many? 4. 嗱，你唔好等答案嚇，你個腦即刻撈到佢有4粒。So will we use all the 4 electrons in the outermost shell? Yes. So you use up all the 4 because chlorine here, okay, chlorine, each of them require 1, and totally there are 4. 咁所以4個都會用晒。咁請問4個用晒會係咩 structure 同 shape？ 4個 tetrahedral. Okay, so it will be like this. 因為用晒啦，你啲 lone pair. So what do we call for the structure? What do we call for that structure? Nicole? What's the name of that structure? Sorry. 你要抄啊？唔使抄，4個啱啱好叫咩啊？4面嘅 Okay, tetrahedral. Okay, tetrahedral. So it has tetrahedral structure and tetrahedral shape. They are same because you don't have any lone pair in this case. Okay, so that's why both bond pair, all of them, all the electron pairs are bond pairs. So that's why we say 0 lone pair in this case, and all bond pair, and that's why these 2 are the same. How about NF3? 你做咩成個你先係老細嘅咩？翻嚟 NF3. What do you think? N. 5. Yes, very good. 5. And fluorine. 1. So that's why there's a lone pair. What's the structure looks like? It's similar to which one? Similar to NH3. 嗱，你要記住3個你一定要記嘅 structure 嚇。First one is CH4 tetrahedral. Second one is NH3, which is trigonal planar. 唔該你記咗佢。CH4, okay, tetrahedral, NH3 trigonopyramidal, and also H2O, which is V-shape. I hope that you memorize these 4 tetrahedral structures. Okay, in mind, they all tetrahedral, but the shape is not the same. 咁今次嗰個 NF3 咧，就應該似呢個嘅 NF3. So we call it, write down. What do we call for that structure? Selena, the name of that structure. Structure. Structure means you also need to consider lone pair. Okay, tetrahedral. How about the shape? Yes, okay, correct. And in this case, they are not the same. The 2 names are not the same. Okay, this is tetrahedral structure. This is trigonopyramidal shape because we got a lone pair. So this lone pair resulted in the difference in the 2 names. Okay, 咁呢個就睇唔到嘅，咁所以個 shape 有少少改變咗。Okay, so follow。好，咁你要快少少啊！啱啱就飲水，係啦，飲水或者飲茶。Okay. How about S sulfur difluoride 似邊個咧 ？Sulfur difluoride 你覺得似邊個啊？Sulfur, do you know the name? Sulfur difluoride. Julia, what do you think? It looks like which model? No, I mean outside. It doesn't look like sulfur dioxide. 你唔可以用 O 去表達 F 㗎。F 可以代替嘅就得 hydrogen 或者 halogen。H2O. Why you think it's similar to H2O? Because S and O 有咩相似㗎 ？S 同 O？ 錄啦，非常之好，你已經背咗啦嘛 ？F 同 H 非常之好，都係要一粒，非常之好，搞得掂。Okay, so that's why SF2 is similar to H2O. 好，咁我哋記住啊，中間嗰個人就望同邊個 group 嘅呢啲 example 一樣，側邊嗰啲人就諗你要幾多粒得啦，我唔理你剩翻幾粒，我淨係諗你要幾多粒就得啦。Okay, so this is similar to S structure. Okay, 咁你自己改啦。Okay. How about the structure's name for SF2? Quincy, what do we call for that structure? And shape? Very good. Okay. And again, it's due to the presence of lone pair. Okay, so it's similar to H2O. 咁 H2O 都係 two bond pair, two lone pair. 好，最後一個 oxygen difluoride. Oxygen difluoride 好容易估到啦，係咪啊？ So it's similar to what? 好，盡快抄快啲 oxygen difluoride 似邊個啊 ？OF2 似邊個 ？H2O 跟唔跟到？似唔似 H2O 啊？梗係似啦。Fluorine and hydrogen both require 1 electrons。咁所以 OF2 就等於 H2O 個樣，其實都係呢個樣嚟。事前我之前寫錯嘢。Okay, it should be like this. Okay, so OF2. And then the bonding, same as the left-hand side, all the same. 同側邊個一樣嘅。Okay, and then we try to look on question 1. You are asked about how come NCl3 and NH3 has similar shape. 第一條點去解咧？嗱，試一試咯 ，is fill in the blank. What should I fill in the blanks here? 好，我哋嚟咯。NCl3 and NH3 點解個 shape 咁似，直情一樣添啦 ？Why similar？ 好，嚟咯。Both nitrogen in NCl3 and that in NH3 have 咩咧 ？What do you think? What should be fill in the blank? Same page. 點解呢兩個咁似樣嘅？首先呢兩個 N 都點啊 ？You can say 5 electrons in the outermost shell, but in this case, I'm talking about the bond pair numbers and lone pair numbers. What's the number of bond pair and lone pair in both of the cases? 3 bond pair and 1 lone pair. Okay, mark it down. So in the outermost shell inside the molecule, that's the situation. Okay, so they have 3 bond pairs and 1 lone pair of electrons. And now these 4 electron pairs, total 係4個嚇, they repel each other and causing both molecules to absorb, that means to receive a kind of shape or a kind of structure. 咁我想問而家結果係咩 structure 啊 ？What's the structure? If there are 3 bond pair and 1 lone pair. Tetrahedral. How about the shape? Is it bi? No, no bi. Okay, so trigonal pyramidal. Yes, correct. 買單。好，呢個大家都唔錯啊，都係跟到嘅。其實冇㗎啦 ，shape 係咁多嘅啫。Even I try to ask you some other kinds of molecules, then you have no problems. Okay, so I will do some past paper with you very soon. And then we are going to have a look about the molecules with multiple bonds. 咁如果佢有好多隻 bond 咁點睇啊？例如 double bond 咁點睇啊？ double bond 使唔使理佢啊？ triple bond 使唔使理佢？ So let's have a look about page 8. If the bonding is multiple bond, then how do we consider the shape? So like double bond here, do we need to consider it's double or a single? No need, because the bonds, they are sticking together. You can consider if they are double bond, then 2 bonds must always be together. 你當一條嘢睇得㗎，當一份嘢睇。So that's why this one and that one regarded as single bond. Even there are single bond, and double bond present, then double bond also considered as single bond. 咁你當一隻腳睇得㗎啦，咁即係你當3條嘢睇。So it will become like BF3. Let me also show you BF3. Okay. PCl5. Okay, and then last one is SF6. 嗱，將呢6個 model 咧記喺個腦度啊。So in DSC, it will be only asked about these 6 kinds of models. Okay, SF6. Okay, 記咗呢6大佢得唔得？記咗佢。Okay, 記咗佢。Okay, and then now, in this case, if even we have a double bond, so you just consider it like 3 single bond. That's why it will be BF3 structure, BF3 shape. 得唔得？當係呢個形狀，即係會係120度，佢唔會拗落去㗎啦。好，嚟難啲嘅 HCN. What should be the shape of that molecule? Firstly, when I draw the electron diagram, 可唔可以答我邊個 atom 係 central atom？ 使唔使 C， 使唔使 N？ How do I determine？ 誒，好多答案喎。係啦，要諗邊個需要最多，最多嗰個要係中間，因為中間係共享㗎嘛。邊個需要最多咧？ If there's carbon, carbon always be the central atom. Okay, and then now, consider the surrounding atom of H and N. How many electrons require from H? 1. Okay, so let me put down 1. And carbon will share 1 with hydrogen. How about for N? How many required? 3. Okay, so let me write down 3. 好，最後一個，其實完㗎啦。I won't consider N and H anymore because they don't affect my structure. They don't affect my shape. 咁呢個其實仲有一粒喺度嘅。咁我會用一啲，我費事你將來混淆啦，我會用一啲虛線咧，有嘢嘅，但係細細粒啦，好冇？嗱，唔諗㗎，其實唔需要畫出嚟俾自己知嘅。If this is draft, then that will be the N. 點解 N 咗嘅 ？Carbon 仲有冇啊？完就咁樣。Then now you consider carbon only, because only central atom it will affect the shape. 咁請問呢個係咩 shape 咧？ Let me show you the structural formula, that it will be even better. What's the shape? Saria 你試下 linear 點解嘅？點解係 linear 嘅？ 有條線，而家有 total 有幾多條線啊？如果考慮嘅時候，當幾多條線去考慮？兩個非常之好。Okay, so triple bond can be regarded as single bond. Now, we just count it as, it's not really single bond, but you consider the shape, you count it as single bond. 當咁睇啫，嗱，純粹係當咋，唔係真嘅嚇。So that's why the central atom, which is the carbon, write down carbon, it will now having two pairs of electron, 好似 viewed as 即係唔係真嘅 viewed as two bond pair of electrons. And then when they separate as far as possible, it will become linear and okay. 咁結果個 shape 就係 linear，得唔得？跟唔跟到？好，似乎呢度幾難都跟到啊！好 check point 就開始死啦。What should be the angle sizes of alpha and beta? Now this is MC。我俾啲數字你先，費事你話你唔記得。So choose the best answer。Hello，好，呢個係幾多度啊？120度啦。呢個係呢邊係120，上下咧係90。OK，呢邊我唔識計啊，90啦。OK，呢個係100，呢個都係90。OK，好，你攞啊。Alpha，你平面圖嚟喎，你嗰個係。喂，呢個 3D 啊，喂，你真係當我計數啊？呢個係 alpha 90噶嘛？What does the angle size of alpha？ 誒，即刻有 A、B、C、D 卡。誒，唔知自己諗，即刻有卡。OK，A、B、C、D。Hello， class piece 係 Arial， 你咪呢個 Saria not Arial。Is D。OK， is D。OK。嚇？
其實我有卡嘅。
But you every day you don't bring the cards. Okay, so but I forget the number, so you better change it. It's not D in your class. 呢個色唔係 D 嚟嘅，我呢張紙有啲污糟。仲有邊個冇卡啊？
其實我有好多 set，但我全部喺屋企。
唔知話你屋企人一齊共享，即係今晚食咩啊？咁樣巨卡噶嘛？But I don't have a pink color anymore in here. Okay, so you okay 你自己唔係啊？你要跟翻人哋嗰啲字母啊，唔係咁樣㗎。唔知啊，你哋咁你爭個 C 啊，你自己改 C 啊。好，你咯。喂呀，解釋點解 alpha 唔係90度嘅 ？What's the structure surrounding C? What's the structure? 繼續呢做。How about C surrounding here? Linear, correct. Okay, so that's why. 好，借翻低咯。And then now, the next page is something out of the syllabus, which is called the VSEPR, introduced in the video. So the angle sizes is not your your syllabus, okay? So you just read it, but that's all. And then now moving on to page 10 for the summary, page 10. Now page 10 嘅 summary 你就係咁意望一望啦。So this will be the sum of the models that we just introduced. So they include 好快咁望一望，同學仔望上嚟。嗱，下次我唔 show 呢個 column，你個心入邊應該即時有 model 喺眼度。我哋呢個其實係目標一定係滿分嘅，你唔好因為冇計數冇成，靠勤力嘅啫。BH3 心入邊知唔知係咩 shape？BH2 係咩啊 ？sorry。Linear 腦入邊有冇個樣啊？如果我唔俾呢幅圖你，有噶嘛？係咪 ？OK， 嗱 ，just forget，好，再望上嚟呢個係咩啊 ？So what's the shape？ Trigonal， 你咁樣就唔夠專業啦。Be more professional. Okay, so each time I give you a model, you should know the electron in the outermost shell of B。得唔得？中間呢個 central atom，central atom 4個霸晒，咁即係。繼續呢做 central atom 5個霸3個，咁即係仲有一個 lone pair。So this is trigonal pyramidal。咁呢個有講啦，係咪 ？H2O V shape。But normally can you also draw another molecule next to it? But this is my practice. But as I know, even the video and also the textbook both show this model. Which one? This one. Yeah, you look like. How about this one? 呢個好似小丑啊，我覺得啦。Okay, so this is better. Okay, so can you also show this model in your notes as a summary? As I mentioned, tetrahedron 我就中意咁樣畫嘅，我唔係好中意，但係呢個係書嘅畫法，咁我尊重佢啦。PCL5. Okay, so remember the angle sizes of PCL5 is not always the same. It's 120 and 90. 咁呢個咧就係 SF6, and also there are some more special cases, so we will soon discuss it. Okay, 有啲 special 嘅。好，嚟咯，繼續去。Now for the elements below, I would like you to write down something in the table. Can you write it down? Now we have considered the number of electron pairs on the central atom, but it may involve multiple bonds. So in this case, I just need to consider, okay, can you write down this? In this table, all multiple bonds are regarded as single bond. 我當 single bond 睇，因為我哋冇討論空間嘅。一陣你話4對，然後 linear 咁咪好 confused 咯。So this time, all multiple bonds considered as single bond. Can you write down in your notes? Otherwise, after some day, then you will challenge my table. Don't challenge the content here. 咁呢個 checkpoint 係純粹一個思考過程啫，就唔係真係有幾多對，而係 multiple 當一對睇，得唔得 ？Okay, so this is the assumption. And now CO2. What's the 2D presentation of the molecule? Linear. Okay, so write down linear as the shape. 咁我哋應該都跟到啦，係咪 ？Linear 係咩事？Linear。誒，呢個 shape 點畫啊？畫嘅時候 double bond 使唔使顯示出嚟㗎？係要㗎，畫要顯示嘅得唔得？要顯示。So that's why CO2 it will be like this, write down. Okay, and then in this case we consider as how many electron pairs? 當幾多 pair 睇啊，同學？當係2 pair，當啫，得唔得？唔係真嘅又係。OK， 講清楚啊。OK。So I think you don't need to show this electron diagrams. If you show it, then you just ignore the lone pair surrounding the oxygen. I'm showing here just for some students' reference. Okay, if you think it's fine, then don't copy. 咁呢個係咪啱啱見過 ？HCN, what's the shape? HCN, what's the shape? Linear, yes. So in this case, linear 咧 but there will be triple bond between C and N. Mark it down. 哎呀，開始輕輕地嘅啦。Okay. Okay, and then Aaron, your homework. Your homework. I just take it up and then where is it? 你27個攞翻未啊？呢個先我攞咗上嚟㗎，你未做完嘅。where is it？ 唔通我又擺翻低？where is it？ Your homework 咧？我好想俾你，因為你未做完。OK， 咦？我明明揸住咗一手啊！我真係揸住咗一手喎。OK， 好，繼續。So in this case, we also consider it as 2 electron pairs. Consider as, okay? How about BeCl2? 都係問自己 ，Be 係 group 2 ，Cl share 1，冇晒啦。So it's linear, okay? So mark it down. It will be BeCl2 linear and also consider as 2 electron pairs. Again, no need to consider the surrounding atoms lone pair. 咁呢啲冇意義嘅，冇意義嘅呢啲都唔得。Okay? So I think for the shape, at last we are going to see some uncommon examples. Okay? So some of the special examples on the last page. 咁咧就會涉及有 multiple bond 有 single bond 有 lone pair 會比較複雜啊。咁我哋一齊睇下。So firstly, okay, I would like to change the question again. Help me change the question. So you are not considering the electron pair on the central atom. 因為就咁諗你諗唔到嘅。So but instead, I would like you to show the electron diagrams. If there's no electron diagram, then you have no way to show the shapes. 好，咁第一個 teacher program 又係送俾你嘅就係 12 electron in the outermost shell. B 係幾多？ B, I mean this one. How many electrons in the outermost shell? 3個，可唔可以背咗佢？背咗佢，而家即時個腦要喐緊嘅，喐唔到自己打自己再飲水。OK，H 咧1 OK，mark it down。好，如果你有呢個 sense，that means all the free hydrogens on boron has been used up. What should be the 3D presentation? Which one？呢個咯，咁叫咩名？3個平面 trigonal 平面 planar。OK，so it will be trigonal planar。mark it down。好，跟到係咪？嗱，if we think this is you can follow that, we just ignore the first column. It's quite time consuming。好啦 ，SO2 頭先我問過嘅 ，S 先，再嚟眼瞓飲水啊！我分分鐘身體好過你哋。OK。If you feel tired, even you have sleeping time, enough sleeping time, you eat a lot, so probably you need some more nutrition。咁上次有冇講過你需要啲咩能量嘅？如果你真係成日覺得好攰咧，有一隻 element 好重要啊 ，element 就咁高興。有隻 mineral 好重要嘅係咩咧？咁一陣我哋開少少風扇啊。No，我哋先講 vitamin 先。有邊隻 vitamin 乜嘢咧？你冇佢，你會成日覺得好攰同埋好易肥喎。又攰又易肥喎。What do you know？ vitamin 啊 ，vitamin B。咁 vitamin B 有咩咁重要咧？真係好需要啊！如果你發覺你自己食少少又肥，又成日攰捱咧，咁你應該係vitamin B 唔夠啦。點解咧？B 一般係啲穀類嘅。如果你成日都唔食飯啊，就比較少。我就好咩嘅，我就維他命 B 丸就食落去，因為我又唔係好想諗食乜嘢，就 B 丸啦。因為你食唔夠，你會好攰啊，個人用唔到能量 ，cannot release the energy very well。咁仲有啲乜嘢你會好攰啊？女仔要缺乏邊隻 mineral 會好攰啊？Yeah, very good。咁你有冇食 iron 啊？你攞隻鐵羹咬啦，你信唔信啊？係真係得嘅喎，梗係啦，你咬唔咬啫嘛？打攞隻鑊喺度咬啦。嗱，唔好笑，唔好笑。以前啲人話點解以前啲人唔會缺鐵咧？而家會缺係咩啊？因為以前用鑊炒菜㗎，炒下咁上下個鑊會穿窿㗎。咁啲鐵去做邊啊？你每日食咗落肚啊，係夠㗎啦。咁你而家用咩啊？你食膠㗎咋？點解你食膠啊？記唔記得我哋學過二結喎？嗰層係咩啊？Do you remember that tetrafluoroethene? That layer, this is a plastic layer, OK? So 你而家食嗰層係炒出嚟嗰層膠，咁再食埋落去就食鐵啦。咁有排咧食咗膠先食鐵咯。Understand？咁點啊？而家點啊？阿 Julia, you've got the sense. If you want to get iron, what kind of food should you eat? The red meat. Okay, so just like cow, okay, cow, okay. But if you cannot, then probably 菠菜嗰啲都 OK 嘅 ，spinach 嗰啲都 OK 嘅。你又唔食，你仲有咩食㗎你？全部變朱古力醬嘅菠菜好冇？佢食朱古力嘅蘑菇就唔食蘑菇。Okay, so probably you also need to take care of yourself, okay, in the summer holiday。咁係爭好遠嘅，即係有補充營養同冇補充營養，個人行出嚟係兩個人。你覺得 Teacher 哥你有冇補充營養咧？我梗係有啦，我做得你阿媽咯。Honestly, my son is grade 9 as I mentioned. OK， 同你爭1歲嘅。OK， 係啊，好。我望落去覺得你哋係仔女嚟嘅啫。我翻屋企我仔就咁樣望住阿媽咁樣，我覺得好奇怪而家。OK，SO2. What's the number of electrons in outer motion? Be quick. S6, both 6 correct. OK， 咁個樣係咩咧？頭先我哋介紹過嘅。So if oxygen here need 2 more electrons, so I add the word +2. 嗱，呢個比較難諗，我寫埋呢度。So it need 2 more electrons, so we can put it down. 你哋唔好唔食嘢，知唔知啊 ？OK。Plus 2. That means each oxygen need 2 electrons, and sulfur can provide 6 electrons in total. 嗱，我要2粒，你可以俾到6粒我，咁我而家有2個 O， 咁即係仲剩幾多粒喺度啊？仲剩2粒。So as I mentioned, if there are 2 electrons remains and 4 electrons being used, then let me show you the electron diagram. That probably will be useful for you to consider the shape. Now, again, you can just ignore the cross sign here. 2 being shared, 2 being shared, and 1 remains. 咁頭先講咗呢個當幾多 pair 去睇啊？當咩一 pair 啊？呢度一 pair 啦，跟住咧呢度咧呢個第2 pair 係咪？呢個 double bond 當1 pair 嘅，呢度咧3，咁即係咩？邊個樣啊？似係邊個樣啊？要有3 pair， 3 pair 喎，似邊個？呢個係咪啊？係似呢個。But you remember there is a lone pair. So that's why when we draw the structure, and then we draw the model, so it's still looking like this. But what's the shape? V shape. Okay, so 哪一張 ？Okay, V shape. Understand? 嗱，我就再嚟多次啊！就算你係 double bond， 你係 lone pair 唔緊要，我哋先擺咗個結構先，擺啱咗個位先，踢咗 he 做 trigonal planar。OK。其實都係得呢4個樣要咁嘅啫，呢2個係衍生出嚟嘅，唔好理住啦。1, 2, 3, 4 only。好，再嚟 SO3。SO3， you know what's the structure of SO3? Well, you got it. You got it. Yeah. Yes, Saria got the correct answer. Okay, 多謝。Yes， 聰明咩樣嘅咧？試下 SO3。SO3. Am I recording? Sorry, am I recording? Oh yes, it's recording. No worry. Okay. Remind me if you can see that red spot moving. Okay, then remind me. Okay, Aaron, fill up these 2 boxes. It's very important. Got it. What's the shape? What do we call that shape? 一飛鏢咁喎。係啊。點解係 trigonal planar？ 係啊，佢有冇 lone pair 啊？我咪3條嘢垂直咁樣咯，就咁樣咯，好似個嗰個蜻蜓咁樣咯，係咪啊 ？Okay, so very good. Okay， 下一張嗰個係嘛？嗰個兩隻翼嘅啫得。Okay, so that's why 下一張。So this is trigonal planar. If I give you the electron diagram, and if you like to copy, then you can copy. So we can find the answer. The 2 lone pair here, the lone pair, sorry, 1 lone pair. 咁呢個 lone pair 都可以黐到個 O 啦，咁就變有呢個形狀啦。So there's no more lone pair. So again, consider as 3 electron pairs. 咁 double bond 都當3 pair 睇得㗎啦。咁或者呢個樣咯，咁咪就咁啦。好啦 ，H2S 咧。Okay, so H 係我哋先諗 S 先。S is the central atom. 咁佢有幾多粒啊？6粒。咁 H 就1粒係咪啊？先諗咗先。咁你咯喎。If there are 6 electrons that can be provided from sulfur, and only 2 being required by the 2 hydrogen, in other words, I still have 4 electrons remains. 我仲剩4粒喎，因為你要需要1粒啫嘛。咁我仲剩4粒，咁係咩 shape 咧？邊個樣？你講好。水嗰個樣非常之好。So let me write down 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it will be similar to the structure of water. Very good, very good. 今次我哋學得幾好啊 ？And we call this shape the V shape, correct? You are right. V shape. That's it. 嗱，好。How about the last one? Is it the last one? No. Okay. How about the next one? Silicon 邊度㗎？見唔到？Okay. So silicon central atom can provide 4, and chlorine just need 1. 好，咁我需要1個啦 ，and then I got 4 chlorine. That means in total, all the 4 electrons on silicon has been used up. 好，4個用晒啦，咁係咩形狀？好，俾個 number 我。第一個非常好 What do we call for that one? Very good tetrahedral， 似乎唔錯啊。OK，very good，very good。再嚟咯，嗱，你試下冇支援嘅情況底下，自己諗，搞得掂就搞掂咗啦，唔會翻轉頭搞唔掂嘅。pH free， 喂 ，P 啦 ，good five，H one，that means I have one lone pair remains。我需要一粒，你俾5粒我，咁我仲剩2粒喎，咁係咩樣咧 ？Which number? Yes, number 2. So that's why when we draw the structure, it looks like this. What do we call that shape? Trigonal pyramidal. Yes. Now the structure is tetrahedral, but the shape 咧我哋會唔諗呢個嘅，咁個三角形底嗰個會闊啲，咁我叫三角錐體，就唔叫四面都一樣啦，唔係四面一樣，所以 we call it trigonal pyramidal. Understand? Okay, moving on. PF5 跟到啦，係咪啊 ？PF5 which model？ 我呢個啫嘛，係咪啊 ？PF5 都呢隻嘢啫。好，畫呢張 PF5。Okay, so it will be trigonal by pyramidal. Okay， 兩個三角錐體，一個喺上面，一個喺下邊。哦，呢個咩嚟㗎？最後嗰個 XEF4。XE coming from which group？ 頭先嗰個 notes 一開始嗰個朱哥嚟同你畫過嘅 ，XE 係 group 幾㗎 ？group 0喎，所以即係 8 electron。嚇，老師 noble gas 做咩喺呢度嘅 ？Noble gas is just more stable, more. It doesn't mean completely inert. So that's why Xe, okay, xenon can react with some kinds of element. 咁呢隻係可以嘅，佢特別係 down the group， 佢可以接受多啲 electron 入去。好，咁呢個咩 shape？ Octahedral shape， octahedral structure. So that structure is octahedral, but what's the shape 啦？試下估計呢個 shape 叫咩名 ？No, octahedral is the structure, but when we say the shape, you don't need to consider the lone pair. 試下估下睇下邊個有 sense。What's the shape of that molecule? You guys are so naughty. Don't use the brain, okay? Now, 做咩事啊？呢條邊個咁有型咁幫我嘅，好好啊！我覺得你哋真係無敵啊！有啦，幫我整翻條好似串燒咁樣。邊個咁好啊？琴日好特咯，係喎 ，Ice 啊 ，1, 2, OK. Now let's consider. 咁我而家咧，你話似狗屎啊嘛，聽到啦，點解聽唔到啫？好 ，Now this is octahedral， 望上嚟，嗱呢個係 octahedral 係咪？得唔得 ？But lone pair remove. Lone pair removed. What do we call 點樣 rectangle 啊？點樣 tetrahedral 啊 ？tetrahedral 必須要係，你係咪想激死我？等陣先 ，tetrahedral 一定要係一上一尺一出一入，一定要咁樣先叫 tetrahedral。有冇4支就4tahedral，唔係4支咁樣？點解同一個 shape 啊？你係咪想搞事啊？你個呢個就叫 tetrahedral， 呢個叫咩？嚇 ？What's the shape? Continue， 爭一個字。You got it！ 哇，你個 pepper 可以翻身啊你！你 square planner，you got it，OK？ 終於唔再 pepper 啦。OK，good。OK， 我都覺得係算錯咩字啊？係咪 QUA 啊 ？Sorry，OK？Square 係咪咁樣啊？但係都係怪怪地嘅咩 ？Square 點算啊？啱唔啱啊？啊，都係怪怪地。OK，square 咁樣。你唔好4支就同 tetrahedral，點 tetra 啊？ Okay, got it. So very good, very good. So in this case, can you also write down Xe and F3, F4? They are electrons in the outermost shell. Very good. Okay. Then we can ignore the electron diagram because it's simple for you. Okay, so up to here, any questions? 冇咧，咁 teacher Gloria 就會落埋去有一個位咧，都有少少難教嘅 ，which is called dative covalent bond. Now what does it mean? You can't find this part in your textbook. Actually, the next part it come from your book 1B. When we learn about covalent compound， 有啲人中三就學咗呢個噶啦。咁樣係 covalent bond 嗰一本書嘅 1B 嗰本嘅。But we move it to here. Dative, what does it mean? So dative means giving, okay? Now, what does it mean? Let's have a look about the electron diagram in this case. 好，我哋先睇 ammonia 先。哇，一撇嘢嚟嘅。Wait for me. Let me share with another diagram. 哦，你是在 complain 吗？
没有，我在蛋
哪里在改？怎么只有1小时15分钟？可以加到几点？你说配合。你说啊，加钟到几点？那个叫减钟。Okay. Now, student, I think that the color here can help. Okay, so if you think your notes is black and white, you can add the color to your notes. 咁自己要令到自己都想讀啦。作為一個學生，你好重要嘅嘢。As a student, when you read your notes, you think is enjoyable. But if you think another student's notes is better than you, then this is your problem. 起碼大家唔會想睇某個人嘅 notes 嘅，應該就係啦。即係大家都一齊坐喺課室，有啲人嘅 notes 你係唔想睇噶嘛 ？OK， 都係抄咁多嘢嘅啫。OK， 咁自己搞啦。Now, when we have a look about the student, can you take out your highlight pen? Because black and white not very clear, I would like to show the electrons, okay, from different atoms. Highlight pen, please. So let's consider the electron coming from nitrogen. Okay. Color pen. Okay. So I show the electrons from nitrogen with highlight pen. And now, ammonia. Wait, student, do you think ammonia very stable? What do you think is not that stable? 係咯 ，ammonia 本身都傾向要收啲嘢嘅。咁佢做咗啲乜嘢咧 ？When it combines with something without electrons, because of the lone pair, it is relatively reactive because of the lone pair. 咁啲lone pair 之後我哋講過 chemistry 最重要係咩 ？What is chemistry? Chemistry is about changing substance by sharing, donating, or receiving electron. So if something got electron, a lot of electron, or something need electron, then they definitely not that stable. In this case, this one has a extra electron in the outside. No, I shouldn't say extra, but these electrons are not being shared, so it's exposed to other kinds of substance. 所以呢個 ammonia 頭先同仔講得好好啦，佢會同水 react 嘅，就係因為呢個 lone pair。點樣同水 react 一陣講。Now let's say it reacts with acid. Ammonia is a base, right? It's a base. How does it react with acid? H plus is the acid. 咁原來 H 正好特別嘅喎。Can you tell me any electrons remains on H plus? No. If there's no electron but only proton, actually hydrogen ion is a proton. If I give you a proton, like acid 即係 proton 啦 I give you the proton and I give you a base, then base react with proton directly. So how do they react? As I mentioned, these electrons are exposed to the air, exposed to other substance. If we have a way that can share this lone pair with another hydrogen, then that will be perfect. So this is the way they share. But for this sharing of electrons, both of the electrons coming from nitrogen. 咁我哋可以話呢個 nitrogen 好似富翁咁樣樣，佢有好多錢。 同你共享又點啊？冇問題，我大把錢，但唔係你㗎嚇，我哋共享啫，我借埋俾你。嗱唔係送借，你要還嘅，得唔得 ？So that's the idea. So this is about ammonium ion coming from base and acid reaction. So do the same thing, student. Use your highlight pen. Now, can you realize I do not highlight electrons coming from hydrogen? So coming from hydrogen, you can use your red pen. Just keep it as a low. Sorry， 所以嗰一粒唔關事。畫翻下先，畫翻。OK， so use your color pen。喂，游一游，點解你翻屋企睇到好似咩事啊？變咗啲咩啊？睇唔到喎，睇唔到嘅真係。So remember in this case, electrons are shared between the two atoms, but both electrons coming from nitrogen. That's the idea. OK， 好，咁樣呢個位置點解 stable 咗啊？同學仔，點解好過之前啊？可唔可以揾人解釋下點解好過之前啊？佢咁樣變身咗之後有咩好處啊？ Catherine 有咩好處啊 ？After the conversion, why is it stabilized? 本身都有㗎，本身都有啊，冇變。係啦，個 lone pair 點啊？仲有冇同其他人接觸啊？冇啦 ，it's not exposed to other kinds of substance anymore. They are shared. 嗱，你先一陣先講，唔係 ，OK？ So then there is a structural formula. 同我真睇住我，再睇住。So this is structure, lone pair, and this lone pair react with hydrogen. 咁佢冇嘛？你個 proton 咁樣周圍喺度走，我都唔中意啦。And now we catch it and share electrons. Now if they share and both electrons come from N, I use an arrow sign pointed towards H. So this is called dative covalent bond. So your highlight pen, we just color the arrow sign. 咁呢個 covalent bond 一旦形成咗 ，once it forms, then I cannot distinguish which is the dative covalent bond anymore. It look like a normal covalent bond. 咁我話係咁話，一陣形成咗，其實睇唔到邊個打邊個啦。And don't forget the bracket because it carry charges. So continue your highlight pen, the bracket, color the bracket, and also the charge. So they are important in your diagram. Okay, same as that one. The bracket, arrow, don't disturb. Write down. Write down. Okay, yeah, you do it. Okay, so this is the electron diagram. And this is the structural formula. Structural. Okay? So that's why we say it become more stable. 咁樣大家就記住點解佢要咁做係唔想個 lone pair 放出嚟，因為咁樣真係喂有冇人都去撞佢嘅時候，咁佢而家咁樣就安全啲啦。And also proton, hydrogen is highly positively charged. 咁如果有一次咁靜嘅話咧，都唔好嘅，揾人同我 share 下呢個 positive charge 都好啲嘅。咁大家共享，你又唔中意你個 lone pair，我又唔中意我咁 positive， 誒啱啱好 match，OK？ So this is chemistry, just making the overall substance be stabilized. And then lastly, how do we represent the 3D diagram? Do you know the 3D structure of NH4? 嗱，你話老師係有 charge 過，我哋學過咩？唔緊要啊，唔好理佢個 charge, just ignore the charge. Which diagram outside representing the model of shapes of NH4? Huh? Number, you have 5 atoms. You have 5 atoms, but this case you need 5 atoms. So which one? You have 4, 一係咪啊？大家贊唔贊成係一？呢個似唔似係一嗰個樣啊？點解似係一啊？啱翻嚟呢度，如果佢個樣係咁嘅 ，and there's no lone pair, this is impossible to occur. Then they rearrange. So what's that? This is tetrahedral. So if there are 4 electron pairs, they must separate. 你唔好咁樣擺平面 ，they must separate as far as possible and result in tetrahedral. So that's why how do you draw it? Pay attention. Okay, then now pens. Okay. 咁我哋點畫咧？你畫翻個 tetrahedral 嘅樣先。When we draw the 3D diagram, you don't need to show the dative covalent bond anymore. No need to show. 咁啦 3D 圖咧都係咁得噶啦。N H H， 你唔好俾個箭嘴我，唔需要。OK，and then dotted line。好，咁你畫嘅時候就 tetrahedral for NH4。But it carries charges, so how do you represent the charge in the diagram? Yes, correct. And give the positive sign. And dative bond cannot be shown in 3D diagram. That's the idea. 好，咁我哋睇下第二個人咧，亦都係一個好 unstable 嘅嘢，你會覺得幾意外嘅。我而家問一個問題，你睇下我意唔意外？點解你哋飲水嘅？嗱，呢個唔係鬧嘅，我係問題嚟嘅。Why do you need water？ 冇話俾你口乾嚇。You are a cat biology student. Yeah, your cell need it. Why do your cell need it? Probably it carry out chemistry, which is respiration. You need water. You need water. You need oxygen. 仲有咩？我哋 dissolve something. 仲有冇啊？你水我哋做咩㗎 ？As a solvent 啦 ，as a reactant 啦。仲有冇其他嘢 ？Cool down 啦 ，a lot, right? But you found that water is a reactant in our body. It reacts. That's why H2O is not that stable. 你話唔係我每日入嗰個，你就係要佢個 reaction 啊嘛。你飲完冇嘢屙翻出嚟，咁有咩意義咧 ？So you need the reaction coming from H2O. H2O is not stable at all. You put potassium in water, then there will be explosive reaction. Tell me why H2O so reactive? How many lone pair in H2O？ 兩個啊，所以水一啲都唔 stable。我哋覺得我哋每日飲嘅嘢就好 stable，實際就唔係。OK， 正就係我哋需要佢個 unstable 嘅 property。That's why for H2O, when we have a look, wow, let's have a look, H2O. That's why I take out your highlight pen. We do the same thing. Highlight the lone pairs and also electrons from oxygen. Sorry. Can you highlight the lone pair? 好，自己做呢個動作，同學跟住嗱，我哋正就係要佢。And also electrons from O, I also highlight one of them. But most importantly, it's about the lone pair. Okay? So for H2O, 好啦，咁而家我哋翻嚟啊，佢點樣變成？我而家嘅目標係咩咧？其實我寫得唔係咁好啊 ，sorry， 我其實呢度做得唔好，我想改一改。Can you follow me? Somehow I would like to say for HCl. HCl 會發生咩事啊，同學 ？In water, what will happen to HCl? We don't call it dissolve. 用日點講 ？What will happen to HCl in water? Now, originally it's a molecule. No, not the word dissociate. It ionized. Dissociate comes to ionic compound, they just split. But this is covalent, so it ionized. So probably I also need one more steps. Can you write it down in your notes? I would like the ionization of HCl. Mark it down. 好快有 break 啊，俾啲時間我。So you form H plus and then chloride. 咁個 chloride 係點樣㗎？同學仔 chloride 個樣 ？How many electrons in the outermost shell of chloride? No 7, no. Sorry, how many? So it becomes chloride. So how many electrons in total? Once it ionized? 8. Very good, 8. So they also receive the electrons coming from hydrogen. Now, that's the case. In water, HCl undergoes ionization. Write down the word ionization. And then that means inside the water, HCl is no longer a molecule. 咁佢就做咗呢個 ionization。好，我而家問你啊，個水會發生咩事 ？Now we know that water is reactive, and now due to the ionization of HCl, then what will happen to H2O? Yeah, it becomes acidic, but just in terms of electrons, what will happen to the electrons? 我移咗位啊！呢啲 electron 會發生咩事啊？佢想收邊個啊 ？H The idea is same as NH3. Because how many lone pair 嗱，我移咗位，你自己移翻好啊。Two lone pairs. So this two lone pair they exposed to the environment. 咁我就問啊，邊個要 electron 啊？過嚟啦，我有兩對啊，咁樣。咁邊個要啊 ？Who like the electrons? Hydrogen, not chloride. Chloride already become octet and 8 electrons, so it will be hydrogen. In other words, H2O 咧喺水入邊，只要有 H 正會用咩形式存在咧？就唔係 H2O，係 H3O plus. So that's why hydrogen ion inside the water, it can't exist alone. 所以我哋之前學嘅 chemistry, the chemistry we learned before are wrong, but you just keep it, okay? DSC just require that. But in reality, we don't have hydrogen ion in water. 即係個 definition, make your acid. Now, what is acid? 咩 hydrogen containing? Oh, hydrogen containing substance. Hydrogen ion as the only ion. 咁呢個 definition 係錯嘅，應該係 H3O plus ion as the only ion。但係你唔好話調轉你背啊 ，just keep the definition we learned before. As I mentioned, DSC we learn something not true, but it's easier to understand. That's why H3O plus is the real charge of H plus existing in water. 咁佢用呢個形式存在㗎 ，H3O plus. So that's why can you mark it down? Or highlight the word H3O plus. Highlight the word H3O plus. That is the real structure of H plus. 咁佢就係呢個樣嘅。好，咁我 dative bond 喺邊度啊？大家見唔見到 dative covalent bond 喺邊 ？break 㗎啦，喺邊度？喺邊度？見唔見到喺邊度 dative covalent bond？ Yes， 呢個位間一間 ，this is dative covalent bond。Okay, and that's why you have an arrow sign pointed towards H because it's shared towards H. 咁我 chloride 你唔好理佢啦，就係咁。Okay, so I give you a break. Okay, so it will be a shorter break, 5 minutes. Otherwise, it will soon be the end of the lesson. 5 minutes. Okay, it's the time for you to go washroom.
嗰日咧大概2點半。
點解啊？家長醫生紙俾我睇，我哋影俾我。繼續錄影。Okay, continue. So, for H2O, okay, remember, when there's hydrogen ion in water, it exists as H3O plus. So how do we show the structure of H3O plus? Firstly, if that is the electron diagram, can you tell me the shape of H3O plus? What's the shape? It's similar to which structure? Yeah, number 2. Okay, so then you just draw the structure of trigonopyramidal. So show it. 咁點樣畫咧？都一樣咁畫嘅。how come? What happened? Okay, what happened? What happened? Okay, wait for me. Okay, so show it. 好畫嘢啦，同學。係啦。So you will be H3O plus. 識唔識畫啊？你哋 ？Okay, so you will be O 啦。lone pair. 龍翻嚟坐。H. Just like ammonia. Okay, and then what's missing? So I follow the structure of ammonia for H3O plus. 咁仲爭乜嘢啊，同學？仲爭乜嘢 ？Plus. So how to show plus? Yes, crown G 啊。Okay. Yes. Okay. Then last one is about NH3Br3. 咁我哋唔好畫佢呢個嘢住啊 ，NH3Br3 唔好畫佢住。But now I would like you, okay, to understand in proper exam what will be the common questions. You will be asked to describe the formation of dative covalent bond. Now let's use H3O plus as an example. 咁我就會問你呢個 molecule 點走出嚟嘅。So firstly, you have to mention about the unstable structure of H2O, which contains the lone pair. So in our DSC examinations, normally it will be a free mark, okay, free mark question. 咁呢3分我哋點樣寫咧？我哋用翻我哋嘅攞支筆出嚟。First mark, it will be about the lone pair. You stress there's a lone pair on oxygen. 咁你太遲啦，我哋已經開始咗啦。等我一陣啦，我有啲控制唔到呢個位，等我縮細少少先。點解我今日呢個位唔係好控制到添 ？OK，follow 啊，一咁樣就出事啦。OK，so your highlight pen. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Yeah. 喐咗啦又。好呢度。好，跟住啊，同學。Point 1, we stress that there is a lone pair on oxygen. So keyword. Now sometimes you may ignore the keyword, but the word atom is one of the keyword. 咁你要講明嘅乜嘢 atom 上面有 lone pair. So you will be oxygen atom. So can you follow, student? Follow. So you'll be oxygen. 唔係好喐到添。Oxygen atom in H2O has changed the word has lone pair of electrons. So actually it should be 2. 咁有個 2 字可以唔寫嘅。So can you change the word A become 2? But 2 is not a keyword. So write down oxygen atom in H2O has 2 lone pairs of electrons. Or just has lone pair of electrons. 咁呢個第一個就係強調點解佢有啲好 reactive 嘅嘢。Secondly, it's about hydrogen ion, which does not carry any electrons in the outermost shell. 咁呢度要講埋 outermost shell 都係我哋 keyword， 我唔係好寫到嘢添。OK, hydrogen ion 啦 ，no electron, outermost shell 呢啲都要寫清楚嘅。嗱，我哋再嚟強調下，你會好容易撈亂嘅。When I say lone pair, in other words, that means something in the outermost shell, so you don't need to stress lone pair in the outermost shell, no need. But when you talk about electrons, then you have to mention that is about electrons in outermost shell. 咁要講清楚，有人多咗嘢，有人唔見，喺 outermost shell 有啲嘢冇咗。And lastly, it's about the formation of dative covalent bond. So we say dative covalent bond is formed between the oxygen atom in H2O and H ion by sharing electron. Now, have a look about our summary I just given to you. 咁呢一個咧，只不過有一個更新版本係寫得更好嘅。So it's based on the marking scheme from 2022 and recent years. 咁我應該會寫得更加之靚，我改咗啲文字，咁你一齊同 Teacher Gloria 睇下。So have a look about page 3. 咁我將佢灰階咗嘅。So I always hope that you can learn the best marking scheme, okay, from the recent years. So I changed one of the sentence. 咁我灰色真係冇咁好嘅寫習。咁我哋嗱 notes 已經唔係最 update 㗎啦，呢份先係最 update 嘅，得唔得？我唔記得印，我唔記得改 notes 啊，咁所以呢個先係最 update 啊。咁其實意思係一樣嘅，不過我就將最新嘅 marking scheme 抄咗喺呢一度。Firstly, can you see I already changed the word two lone pairs? Can you see I already changed it? 咁呢個第一個我改咗個位嘅。Okay, so remember oxygen atom still be the keyword， 有個 atom 呢個字嘅。And also you mentioned that hydrogen does not carry any electron in the outermost shell, so it's same as the notes。咁我改咗一句少少最尾嗰一句嘅嘢，咁個 DSC 就咁寫嘅，佢就會再強調一次。The oxygen atom in H2O share a lone pair electron, share one lone pair electron with hydrogen ion to form dative covalent bond. 咁如果跟翻 notes 啦 ，in notes and also the previous marking scheme， 咁我都係跟以往呢個係2022年之後嘅寫法，呢個係以前嘅寫法。咁我想你跟呢套啦。咁以前就簡單啲嘅 dative covalent bond form between some atom and some species。But this one is better because you mentioned it share only one lone pair with you, and then we form dative bond. So this marking is more precise, clearer compared to the old one. So that is the one I recommend. You understand my meaning? 咁其實意思上冇乜分別嘅，but I recommend you to use the black one instead of the grey one. Okay? And similar, okay, we have learned about example 1, just move backward, okay, same paper. 咁我都將個文字稍為改少少，一樣咁嘅意思嘅啫。Firstly, we mentioned that nitrogen has a lone pair electron。咁你要講明啊，我有啲嘢多咗㗎，你要唔要啊 ？So the nitrogen atom pure 嚇，見唔見個粗體字 ？So in NH3 has a one lone pair of electron, but hydrogen ion does not have any electron in the outermost shell。咁一樣嘅同頭先個寫法。咁 DSE 一定會問嘅，咁你自己背咗個 pattern 佢，已經係 one mark and then 2 mark。And then the third mark is about the last sentence。咁我都轉咗啦 ，the latest marking scheme。The N atom in NH3 share a lone pair electron with H plus to form the different bond。Understand the difference？ OK， 咁呢個我會再強調一次係佢 share 呢個 with 佢，咁呢個就好籠統，我覺得冇咁好。OK。And lastly, it's about BF3. So student asked me how do I draw the structure？ 好，而家翻返嚟先，點解會形成呢個咁複雜嘅圖片啊 ？Why there's a reaction? Can you tell me? Firstly, why this is unstable? Because 有 lone pair。咁點解 BF3 又 unstable 啊？爭兩粒，係啦，你話佢爭兩粒或者淨係得6粒，明唔明我意思？就係呢個 pattern 啦。你要講邊個有 lone pair， 邊個人唔夠 ，so only 6 electron in the outermost shell, but BNF3 the NH3 the N atom has what a lone pair electron， 唔使 in the outermost shell 啦 ，lone pair must be outermost shell。So and then they share, you can say the nitrogen share a lone pair electron with boron, so it forms a dative covalent bond. So that's why this is the pattern. 有冇人跟唔到？跟唔跟到？ Can you follow? So you need to mention about these 3 examples. I just copied it from our notes. Okay, so but I refined the marking schemes. Understand? So next time when you're doing revision, please use the summary I just provide to you instead of the notes. Okay, that will be better. So that's the end of, sorry, one more. Okay, it's just about the chapter. Page 14, not end of lesson. Okay, I mean just end of this chapter. Okay, so last page, page 14. Page 14. 咁呢個功課我會稍為放一放低啊。OK， 我應該唔會想處理佢住。Homework of Unit 23 and 24 will be summer holiday homework. Okay. Yes, and after, no worry, next Monday we still have one more lesson, you know? And so that I will just try to complete 24 and also do some exercise with you. It's a Monday, no, it's the last school day. 咁你上晝典禮之後，記得下晝要返嚟嘅。Okay, and then that will be bye-bye to you, okay? So you can enjoy your holiday. Well, okay, student, the last checkpoint. How do you show the structural formulate of NH3 to form NH3ClCl3？ 咁呢個都簡單嘅，咁同學就係跟住我啊。NH3 就好簡單嘅，咁啊呢個樣啦，冇乜問題係咪 ？How about AlCl3? When I say structural formula, when you see this term structural formula, it means that it must be covalent. So you don't need to judge whether it's covalent or ionic yourself. Okay, so this is about the last page. Okay, 最後一條啦。咁 aluminium chloride, trichloride 個樣點畫啊 ？Not ionic, it's covalent. 再嚟多次啊 ！When I say structural, hint given, it is covalent. So that would be similar to BF3. So you just try to show the lack of electrons. 咁佢應該唔夠 electron， 咁我就咁樣畫會靚啲嘅。I think showing like that will be better. So it can show that I need more electrons on that side. So later on, you just put an arrow sign towards Al. That will be the structural formula presentation about the reaction. So can you follow? 好，最後一個問題。What's the structure? I mean the 3D structure surrounding aluminium. Anyone can tell me? Or in other words, what's the bond angle here? 啊？109。对，大概。 But what's the structure here then? Tell me the structure surrounding aluminium. Tetrahedral, that's it. So it's around 109.5 degree, okay, around, okay? And this is also tetrahedral, so you'll be two tetrahedral structures with each other. So that's the end of this chapter.咁咧喺功課咧，你自己試下搞先。It will be challenging. So Friday will be Unit 28 啊，and then for Unit 23，咁有啲我可以同陳士同你去試少少嘅。So take out your homework, okay, just a few, okay？梗唔係啦，4點半啫嘛，講明你傻嘅，你叻都未做，OK？啊，你去啦，OK？廁所可以，女士可以，啊男士咧唔可以，OK？ Okay, now 23講笑啫，你真係要去我都要俾你去㗎。Okay, so for 23, I would like you to give me some ideas very quickly. Now we have law about 2025. Is that 2025? No. What's the latest one? Oh yes, 2025. 喂，如果你係2025年，你冇話佢知唔識做。Now this is the latest public exam question. 我哋都好努力 include 埋最新嘅啦。咩樣啊？唔係唔識畫嘛？呢2蚊送㗎係嘛？點啊？咁你如果出去考試，我哋試下咯喎。BF3, what's the shape? Can you draw it in your notes? What's the shape? BF3 識畫係咪啊？邊個樣唔係唔識畫？好試畫。嗱 recommend to use pencil in diagrams. Yes, PO2 2025 last page. 幾多課啊？呢本第幾課？咁你係咪跟翻 ？OK。
喺嗰度。
好，試下畫最尾嗰題。幾條鐘係？啊，所以唔係啊，其實2條一樣，好神奇。係輕緊機，你輕緊機。
我知啊，
係咪好似啊？係咪好神奇呢啲 past paper？Yes, you are right。所以佢 past paper 使唔使做啊？你自己話。你係咪啊？你話 past paper 可唔可以唔做啊？你知唔知 Cam 嘅 DSE 5星星幾多分啊？個目標都係滿分。最後啊，你又係㗎，係咪好似啊？係咪好似啊？哇，離晒譜啊！真係，嚟寫嘢 ，OK。唔係啊，其實摩利橋你頭先我哋玩過啦，冇咩可以砌嘅咋，冇咩砌得，因為要 covalent 啊，冇咩砌嘅，你要 ionic 加 non-metal 咁就會話啫。所以嚟嚟去都係幾個 example 嘅，記咗佢啦。OK， so as simple, right? OK， 我哋試一試咯喎。What's the name of the shape of PF3? Give me the name. Yes, OK. How about NF3? Yes, very good. That's it. 有冇人唔識？好，再嚟一啲黑人憎少少咧，唔好話俾自己唔識喎。試下，可能有機會唔識。Dichloromethane, what do you think? Can you draw the structure there first? Dichloromethane, that means 1 carbon, and then dichloromethane. 咁即係點啊？係喎，你可能真係唔識嘅喎。寫翻低 dichloromethane is looking like this. So how's the structure look like? 嗱，唔係粒粒都一樣，咁但你估下應該似邊個？似邊個？第一個咯。嗱，唔使粒粒都一樣嘅，因為 halogen 同 hydrogen 一樣睇法。So you just draw it like this. Okay, so you can put the atoms in any positions. Okay, so they could be reversed. 唔一定係 chlorine 係咁樣畫嘅。好，再嚟多次啊，我哋再試下。Let's try page 10. 所以你發覺極簡單，呢課係目標100分嘅，應該冇人唔識㗎。Page 10. So you are considering H3O plus ion. Can you show the electron diagrams in the boxes provided? Do you understand the question? Electron diagram. So which two particles combine to become H3O plus? 嚟自乜嘢㗎？同學呢度嚟自乜嘢？頭先講咗 H2O and yes。咁 H2O 個 electron diagram OK 嘛 ？OK, H2O diagram. H2O diagram. And also H plus diagram. put it down。咁係咪呢個樣？有冇意義？ So just to make it simple, I use all the same symbols for electrons coming from both atoms. So you don't need to use cross and dot. Sometimes you will get confused. 咁你全部點或者全部叉啦。好，咁hydrogen 咧有冇嘢㗎 ？Nothing。咁點畫 nothing 嘅嘢咧？就咁連個圈都慳埋。You even not need to show the shell. I use the dots instead of cross because I see the structure provided is all dots. So I just follow, okay, instead of using crossing sign. 好 ，Part 2，揾人答下先。Describe the formation of dative covalent bond. Describe the formation of dative covalent bond. 第一句要寫乜嘢啊？ Start from the lone pair. Do you understand the meaning? Copy 嘅啫。係啦，有人冇，有人有。咁邊個冇啊 ？Hydrogen ion has no, don't say no lone pair, no electrons in the shell. While 少咗個字乜乜 atom. While oxygen atom very good. Okay, two lone pairs of electrons. 咁我哋跟到啊 you just copy it from your notes. Okay, you don't need to copy it right now. So I mentioned the oxygen atom in H2O has lone pairs of electrons. You can say has two lone pairs of electrons. 講明邊個有多餘嘅 lone pair， 好歡迎其他冇嘅人過嚟。While hydrogen atom has no electron in its outermost shell. And lastly, how do you describe the sharing of electrons? 點啊？最尾嗰句最新嘅寫法係點樣？ The oxygen atom in H2O share what? Oxygen atom share how many lone pair? One lone pair electrons, yes. Now, you don't need to copy right now because just directly copy from the summary I give you to you. 咁你慢翻去慢慢抄得㗎啦。Because same 都係我臨即係作落去一樣嘅啫，兩邊一齊作嘅啫都係。大家跟唔跟到？好，咁啊 next time, next week when I see you, I would like to have a short quiz on Unit 23, shape and the paragraphs. Which is, oh, sorry. You are right. So it's not atom. Just like that will be fine. Okay? While hydrogen 就唔得㗎啦。OK? 就唔得㗎啦。Very good. 咁下次翻嚟我會有少少 quiz 嘅，咁唔計有成績表達。我想你稍微望一望先過嚟。Okay? So including the shapes of molecules, I will give you some formula and you determine the shape. A periodic table will be allowed, so you can take out periodic table for the quiz, okay? And also you need to memorize the pattern required in this kind of question. 咁主要就係畫 shape 啦，同埋諗一諗呢一種題目點樣寫文字。Okay? So next time it should be Wednesday when I see you. 咁你走唔甩嘅，我哋一開波就 quiz，okay? So that's about。咁我希望因為暑假，如果 teacher 哥你又唔手 quiz 咧，你會好似冇學過嘢嘅。因為你 quiz 就嚟就即係暑假係個半月後先係見你喎，你會乜都冇嘅，渣都冇得剩。Okay, so take it away. This homework will be your summer holiday homework. Okay, and now we'll receive it in early September. Let's make it the 1st of September. Okay, 9月1號。咁你9月1號交俾我，到時仲得閒去改功課，跟住我就開始有忙㗎啦。OK， 咁呢塊係9月1號嘅功課。OK, and then 24課。24. Yesterday I give you the notes. 仲有20分鐘。Second one, Unit 24. So this is also challenging because if you don't study well on 23, then 24 will be disasters. 好，咁咧，大家知唔知我入邊裝咗啲咩咧？估入邊裝乜嘢 ？What's inside? Distilled water. Okay, actually, yes, it's distilled water. Okay. So then, for distilled water, am I recording? Yes. Okay. So now then, Gregoria, this is the rubber. This is a plastic ruler. So when I rub this one with the clothes, do you know what will happen to the charges carried on the ruler? So, can I attract my hair? Yes, right? So how about, can I attract the water? Let me try. Can I attract the plastic? Can I attract the paper? Let's try. Well, a little bit. Can you see it's moving? Okay 嘅，都喐嘅。Okay，再嚟咯。How about the plastic? How about the plastic cannot? 再多次。How about the toothpick? So how come the paper？喂，點都重過呢支牙籤啦，係咪啊？嚟多次，喐個。Then，誒 ，what does it mean? I haven't rubbed the paper. I just rubbed the rubber. I just rubbed the ruler, and then you move. Can you guess the reason? 點解我可以喐佢，唔可以喐佢，唔可以喐佢？我發覺得 attraction. So when I rub the ruler becomes charged. How come it becomes charged? It's because of cloth. And not every cloth can have this kind of effect. But this cloth can, when they rub it, they have electrons. Some of the electrons may be rubbed away. 我可能捽走 electron. This is one action. Or probably some electron come from the cloth and towards the ruler. So there will be electron transfer. 咁樣會令到佢帶正咗或者負咗。It doesn't matter. It carry charges. But now, how about water? What do you think? Can I move water? Of course, the whole burette cannot. How about the water inside? 好，我哋開始滴啦吓。Cannot see 啊。Can you help to hold the mobile phone and towards here? Okay, hold it. Okay. 咁又唔好咁快正面，你對住佢好啦，咩好難搞。Okay. Yes, here. Oh, wait. Let me stop sharing. Okay. 喂，睇唔到啊，阿靚仔，靚女。Okay, yes, better. Okay, 好。So when I rubbed the ruler, can you see the effect? 嚟多次，唔緊，捉得太唔夠大力。Okay. So there's some time delay. You see? Okay, you see the effect. Okay. So, thank you. Okay, so you can put it back. So now then we have to explain. Some of the objects can be attracted, some can't. It depends on what. I give you an idea. Water. After we learn about the shapes of water, it's V-shaped. So water is considered as polar. Recall this term. What does it mean by polar? It carries charge. If you still remember for H2O, what's the charge of oxygen in H2O? What's the charge of oxygen in H2O? Now, if it carry positive and negative, so how about oxygen? Negative. Yes. So H2O is charged. 佢呢邊係帶負嘅 ，H 帶正嘅 ，so it's just like a magnet inside the burette. And then when I have the charged plastic ruler goes towards the water, and then the water is like another kinds of magnet, and then they will attract each other. Now consider all of this, then we can understand that probably the paper is also polar. And this is not surprising because paper, cellulose, has many glucose. Glucose 入邊有啲咩 atom 係 negative 嘅咧，就係 oxygen. If you remember glucose structure, there are 6 OH, OH, OH. 咁嗰啲就會係 polar 啦。咁呢啲就唔夠勁啦。So it depends on the polarity of the molecules. So water is polar, and the charged rock is also polar. And then now we need to consider, okay, in the last 15 minutes, how come some of the atoms will carry negative charge and some carry positive charge? We are going to introduce a term called electronegativity. Electron, in other words, means what? Electron. Negativity means it attracts electron and become negative. 咁喺成個 table 入邊，邊一個 element 最中意吸 electron 啦？你可唔可以睇得個數字啊？又要翻譯 ，what's the value？ 4.5 0. Okay, so now use the colorful notes here. So take your highlight pen. Fluorine would like to attract the electrons the most. Can you explain based on what you have learned in grade? Oh, thank you. Helpful. Okay, so now mark it down. Fluorine 4.0，自己間一間住，呢個係無敵，呢個係天王嚟嘅，最中意 electron 係佢噶啦。So that's why it's highly unstable for fluorine. It can't exist in nature. I mean fluorine atom 啊，冇可能有呢隻 atom 嘅。Because it attracts the electrons a lot. 咁個數值係4.0。Now again, what means electronegativity? There is a definition for it. Tell your highlight pen. Definition is important. Electronegativity, it means the power of an atom. 個 atom 嘅力量 to attract a bonding pair of electrons towards itself. So, 哎呀，跌咗，仲棘住咗喺個眼鏡度添。Okay. So it means, okay, how likely the elements would like to attract the electrons. So can you tell me how come fluorine like to attract the electrons? Based on what you have learned in grade 9. Why is it unstable? 佢得點解佢 attract？ 而家就問點？可能再講多少少，佢爭咗 fluorine. When we consider the reactivity, okay, in grade 9, fluorine is most reactive compared to other kinds of halogens because it's smaller size. 佢最想吸 electron 啊？點解佢最想吸啊？我哋手畫一畫先。Fluorine 有幾多粒electron shell 啊？咩啊？ So fluorine has 2 shells. How about chlorine? 3 shells. How about bromine? 4 shells. So if there are more shells, then it will be more difficult to attract the electrons. 咁所以 fluorine 係最勁嘅。好，打橫睇咧，點解有 fluorine 最勁啊？唔係，點會 lose 啊？點解爭一粒就會最巴閉啊？爭兩粒就唔好咩？點解咧？其實咧，當時係簡化版啫。點解經一個容易過經兩個啊？Consider O and F. Can you tell me how many protons inside O? Now there are 8 electrons and 8 protons. Write down. 唔好咁樣啦。Okay, 8 electrons and 8 protons. Write down in oxygen. How about for fluorine? How many proton and electron? 9個。好，嚟啦喎。未寫兩圈。Okay. And now we know that there are more proton on fluorine. So that's why if we consider oxygen, which has 6 electrons in the outermost shell, and then fluorine, there are 7 electrons in the outermost shell. 咁點解 fluorine 會比較想吸 electron 多啲咧？其實就唔係話吸一粒吸兩粒，係因為佢個 proton number 點啊？佢相信好容易吸入嚟啊 ？Proton, what's the charge? Is positive. Yes, it's easier to attract the incoming electron because we have 9 positive, and this one just got 8 positive. So for green line, we just make everything simple. We say receiving 1 is easier than receiving 2. So this is green line levels. But now you are grade 10, you should know why receiving 1 is easier because we have 9 proton. So this 9 proton attract because positive charge, so you attract the electrons easier. So that's the idea. 咁佢容易吸咧 then it will be greatest reactivity. Fill in the blanks. 哇，Nicole 好唔舒服啊！係咯，好痛喎！我先見到佢個樣都，我以為佢皺眉係因為啲嘢聽唔明添。好，我哋先 across the period 先 ，across the period. Do you understand what means across the period? 打橫。So let me use oxygen and fluorine as example. What should be filled in the blank? Across the period. Number of number of, I just mentioned, something increases while the number of occupied electron shells just keep the same. 即係距離冇變，但係 yes proton 咪㗎 number of protons increases. Okay, so that's why if there are more protons on fluorine, less protons from, okay, let's say example, I just write down here, oxygen has 8 proton, but fluorine has 9 proton. I just introduced. Okay, so Nicole, you can also write down. So across the period, the elements got more protons. So that's why attraction between outermost shell electron and nucleus increases, greater attraction. And so that's why 如果佢咁想吸 electron， 好想吸喎，我哋就叫做 electronegativity 高啦， so it will increases. That's why across the period, fluorine wins. Fluorine is the greatest. Similarly, if we have a lot about period 2, when we consider, let's say sulfur and chlorine, 咁 chlorine 都會贏嘅。你睇每一 group 咧，右邊嗰個都係贏咗嘅。They always attract electrons easier across the period. But for down the group or up the group， 如果我哋 up the group 啊，即係話嗱，我哋平時唔會講 up the group 嘅，但係佢跟翻呢幅圖啦 ，up the group。Normally we say down the group. So if we consider up the group 打上啊，即係好奇怪嘅呢個講法，但係我跟翻幅圖啫。So what will happen to the number of occupied electron shell? Any changes up the group? Decrease, yes. 咁即係話個 size 越嚟越細粒嚇，非常好。買單 decreases. And so that's why the attraction force between the outermost shell electron and nucleus increase. 啱啦，越細粒咧個吸引力越大啊。And so that the electronegativity increases, so greater attraction. So that's why we can have a look about the trend. 咁即係話咧打橫啊，打橫嚟睇咧就越嚟越勁。So this is fluorine. 打橫嚟睇最勁 F， 打直嚟睇咧都係最勁係 F， 無直嘅呢個。That's the idea. Okay, so checkpoint. Oh, sorry, not checkpoint. Here, checkpoint. What are the foremost electronegative elements? Arrange them in ascending order. 最勁係邊個？有得揀㗎嘛呢個？寫字喎。F， 第二咧？喂，你睇圖啦。喂 ，Can you read the numbers? How about the second one? Oh, how about the third one? 有幾多個第三名 ？Yes, N and Cl the same. Okay, so my down. Oh, ascending. Sorry, ascending. Sorry， 邊個我嘅？啊，冇所謂啦，你自己知就得啦。N and Cl just the same. OK， 嗱呢4個同我記落個腦度啊，因為成日會見到佢哋嘅。So that's why H2O 而家翻嚟，點解 H2O 會 charge 啊？咁我揾人解釋。Why is H2O charged? Oxygen here is a little bit negative, Hydrogen a little bit positive. 咁我揾人解到。Why is it polar? 頭先見唔見到 oxygen 點解負啊？ It has higher electronegativity. Hydrogen, when you consider the table, is 2.1, probably is a 2.1. So hydrogen, the value is lower than oxygen. So in other words, in the I have oxygen and hydrogen together, 咁咧鬥搶嘅啫，邊個想吸 electron 就睇個數字。Oxygen 係搶得勁啲。In other words, if this is the molecule, then let's have a look. The electrons are not evenly distributed. 佢實際上 O 喺呢度啦，個 electron 係近 O 嘅 ，electron 係近 O 嘅 ，H 係冇嚟咁遠嘅。So this is further away. Both of the electrons actually attracted towards oxygen the more. So that's why it becomes a little bit negative. That's the idea. If we consider an even simpler example, that will be HCl. 就係有同啦 ，OK, HCl. 好，呢幅圖啱唔啱嘅？正常係咁嘅。Theoretically, it should be like this, but practically, it should be like this. You find the difference. Yes. So who attract the electron more? Yes, because Cl has a higher. It has higher electronegativity, correct? So write down the word because chlorine has higher electronegativity. Okay, or sorry, I missed a verb here. It should be or chlorine is more. Now, if you use adjective, then it will be electro. 你估下 adjective 係咩啊 ？Negativity is the noun。你講粗口係咪 electro？係咯，咪 negative 咯。係啊，你講緊啲乜鬼嘢啊你 ？Electronegative, okay, then hydrogen. So that's why it results in unequal share of electrons, so unequally share. 好，咁我哋喺符號上面咧，呢個好似 S 咁樣，又好似個八字咁樣，咁大家自己用啲心機入個 S 埋口。So this is means delta. You know delta? Delta 平時係咩符號啊？平時係咩符號？咁呢個就係細微版嘅 delta， 即係好細嘅 delta 咁嘅意思。But it's delta， 三角形係指大 change、大 difference。呢啲咁樣嘅 S 蛇仔係細嘅 difference，small delta。OK， sigma 咩 beta sigma no。OK， so just introduce a little bit more term. Firstly, which one is called dipole? 嗱，sorry 啊。If chlorine is more electronegative than hydrogen, so this unequal share of electrons, 如果啲 electron 係 unequally share 咧 then there will be a covalent bond formed, which is called polar covalent bond. That bond is polar. It means it's unequally share of electrons. 好，第二個 term 大家要學嘅叫 dipole。好，字面拆嘅啫。What means pole? What means 大 pole? 估下一個字。照拆字咩叫大鋪啊 ？No, pole what does it mean? You learn about some pole. Can you tell me two pole you know on the earth? North Pole, South Pole, and the similarities that they have the two ends, but they carry opposite charges. 咁如果 teacher 哥嚟講大鋪咧，其實就呢個 meaning 就係 North Pole and South Pole， 即係話兩極。兩邊而個 charge 係唔同，一頭一尾而 charge 不一樣，就叫 dipole 啦。So in this case, the dipole will be here, hydrogen and chlorine. They are two poles， 一正一負，得唔得？好，仲有一個字叫 dipole moment。moment 點解啊 ？A physics student, do you know moment? Not movement. Moment. What's it? Is a vector or something like what kind of moment have you learned? 可能未學係咪啊 ？Force is a force a moment 或者 ？Yes。嗱 moment 唔係講一刻，唔係講個 moment， 唔係講個 moment 嘅意思。In physics, moment means a quantity carry direction。例如我而家撞你，好唔好？或者拉你好啲，你係咪 feel 到有個方向嘅力啊？個力嗱，我先睇先，大唔大力啊？嗱呢個 moment 就好細，大唔大力啊？咁就好大。So moment 有大有細 ，and also they have some direction。如果我哋一齊拉，你又拉呢邊，我拉呢邊，咁佢喐唔喐啊？啊唔喐啦，佢會爛。OK，so moment 咧有方向，會影響嗰嚿嘢點喐嘅。嗰嚿嘢今日叫 Julia。但係一陣我哋會係 molecule，so the moment 如果呢邊又有 moment， 呢度有 moment， 呢度有 moment，OK， 最終可能佢唔識喐嘅，或者係 non-polar 嘅，唔一定有嘢就 polar 嘅。我哋聽日會唔係即係下星期會比較激動少少嘅。嗱，講埋最後一個 moment means there are some kinds of attractions carry values and directions. So can you see there's an arrow sign? Now because electrons attracted towards chlorine。咁呢個 moment 就係咁嘅方向同埋咁嘅大細。箭嘴 the length of the arrow sign represent the size of the force. But in DSC you don't need to measure with ruler. 以前 C.C. 哥你讀書係要攞把間尺出嚟度幾長嘅，咁而家唔使啦。You just very freely draw the arrow sign. You won't be asked about the sizes. OK 好，做埋 check point 就落堂。Check point question 1. Which one best representing the polarities? 好，咁咧即係問自己啫 ，B、R and C 啊 ，which one is negative? Which one is positive? 但你唔會咁樣係嘛？你舉個 A 嘅同我翻出去啊，咁樣有咩分別？可唔可以兩個都正啊？哦，sorry，係可唔可以兩個都負啊？唔得，咁你揀邊個？仲揀 A？嗯，sorry，點解你咁快揀 D 嘅？使乜睇圖㗎？唔使，邊個贏咗？見翻頭先第一條 check on check 過嚟講嘅頭四大，第一大係邊個？第二、第三同第四 ，OK， 記唔記住？記住佢得唔得？咁記住喎 ，so I will compare one very electronegative one with another one. So Cl wins. 好，第二個 which one is most polar? Do you understand the meaning? That means the two pole got the greatest difference in charges. 邊個最勁啊？最 polar 嘅，邊個最 difference 啊？Very obvious. A. Okay, so that is the end of today's lesson. Okay, so 下個星期三，好好啊，咁都係會忙，但我都希望你係上堂，因為喺堂上面我係拍下你啊，喂下你啊，咁你會精神少少啊，盡量就唔好請假啦。Okay, so this Friday，我想問邊個星期五邊個交唔到功課嘅？你唔好舉手，你咩事？咁你星期四交咯。唯有係咁咯，係咯。咁你咪星期五叫你阿妹帶到你咪啱咯，佢要翻㗎嘛？
星期五我都唔
得，星期一交啦，好煩啊你哋。OK，so give me Monday morning， 有冇問題啊？仲 Monday 有冇問題啊？係啊，OK，係咪想帶埋23俾我啊？你哋試下做23啦，因為23課係 summer holiday 功課，咁你變咗下個星期三上堂見到我都可以問啊嘛，好唔好啊 ？OK，試埋做啦，OK，goodbye class。OK。